What makes Ken Bone so awesome?
What steps will your energy policy take to meet our energy needs?
How are we, everybody?
Oh, how are we?
I hear talking.
Crotches exposed.
Yeah, for the world to see.
We had talked about maybe rebooting How Are We as a video podcast called I Hear Talking. What do we think?
I hear talking.
Starring
Like from the
Starring the late.
Well, it's already too offensive.
What? I had an audio obituary for him set up.
You just trash on a dead man.
Bartholomew age 67, passed away on
We used to do a podcast
All right.
called How Are We?
How are we?
That was very funny. It was mostly Aaron and I, plus others.
Very popular, aired on the WB.
Yep.
But it was pre-Box Mac.
Yes.
So we since got a
Not
lot
the
of fans that
CW?
have come on. Very few have listened to How Are We because it's kind of locked away in a vault.
We had a solid 67 listeners a month.
Yeah.
It's in the Disney vault.
It's in the Disney vault.
It won't come out until
Well, plus,
2027.
most people know us through YouTube, through video, so we were like, wouldn't it be nice to do that, to do this in video format? But if Aaron's going to be this unhinged,
This is normal hinging.
Yeah, I don't know what I've done.
This
I
is
talked about a
standard
dead
issue
teacher.
hinge. Yeah. This is all.
it's self-evident.
Well,
I don't see any.
I didn't realize we were PG.
Well, yeah, that was actually the thought. In other news,
Yeah.
we're also in a studio space.
That's
this
right.
This is the soft reveal
Yeah,
of
it's pretty soft.
of this
the flaccid reveal.
of this studio space that we started renting. It's about 500 square foot feet.
Square foot feet. I got
Square foot
it.
feet.
I'm on it.
Square feet.
That makes it cubed.
They're square foot feet.
Square
These
foot
feet
feet?
are square foot.
Square foot.
And the concept is not, well, I guess we could use this area as a shooting area, but we actually have like little sets we're trying to set up right now.
Right behind you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, where the camera
Right
is
behind
right
you.
now will someday be a set.
Just turn around, you can see it.
We'd love to be able to move things like unboxings and after hours here, and maybe a lot of other stuff. We have some show concepts that we're very excited about. Can I tell you about one?
Scavenger Junt.
No, we do that in the Horde. We keep that in the Horde.
Oh, you're gonna give a promo to an upcoming show?
So we want to do this thing where we find films, narrative films on YouTube that have 100 or fewer views, and you watch them and you review them.
Sounds great.
Yeah. And they got to be 4 minutes or less, so that you can watch the whole thing on air.
Yep.
You give your review. That's your video.
Couple diamonds in the rough.
Maybe. I doubt it. But you'll have to tune in. I also think Vimeo might be a good place to mine.
Yeah,
Because
oh, yeah.
Vimeo is where like,
Vimeo's where like you get a little bit more of that artsy kind of like, oh, I'm not gonna put it on YouTube. I'll put it on Vimeo.
and it's where videos go to die.
yeah.
Where you get awesome
I'm gonna put
videos
my
like Mac.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna put my reel up there, my demo cinematography reel.
Yeah.
But it's really just to link to my website that also no one visits. So it's a lot of internet content that's I think that it's like there's podcasts where people go on Craigslist and they look at all the crazy stuff that's on Craigslist. I know you do this just for fun.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to browse Craigslist, men for men, men for women?
Yeah.
Peruse to see what kind of crazy shit people are up to. There's some really weird stuff going on. A lot of cheating, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course.
What's not to enjoy about just perusing the
You
wares?
got any good ones? Any
Browsing the wares. No, there's a lot of foot fetish stuff going on, a lot of outdoor play.
Sure.
Sure.
What else you got?
It's sort of interesting.
Outdoor play in this weather?
Ante up, boys.
Keep talking.
Some snuff films.
All right.
What, like for sale or
Looking for actors. in
On
snuff
my
films.
chance.
Only looking for actors.
bootleg snuff film? $10.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just wanted to do, we missed the goddamn Christmas podcast this year. We normally do a Christmas podcast every year. This would have been the 8th.
Yep.
But we couldn't get our shit together to make it happen.
Could have just lied to the audience and we could have done one.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas is clearly already passed.
It's snowing out.
It's true. Actually, it is.
It is. You can't see it
Little harmless flakes.
for now.
The kind of snow that doesn't intimidate anyone.
People just make you think you have dandruff.
You notice this old lady thing where
No.
I'm just gonna go right past that dandruff comment.
That's too taboo.
keep it hush.
Don't make me edit that. No, just I would say it's a cliche of older women, perhaps older men, to like watch the weather very closely during the wintertime.
Oh, I do it. I do it already.
And my segue.
I do it already.
John's doing
Grandma
this.
Junt over here.
Yeah.
You should see, you know, like the Amazon Echo gives you a list of all the things you've asked, and like weather is like 20 times a day. It's
Barometric
embarrassing.
pressure.
Why are you so? Wait,
What do you think's happening from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. that something drastic has happened, like a tornado warning?
Nothing
suddenly?
at all. I'm fascinated by the temperature.
I check it once a day in the
ooh,
morning.
It's 9. Ooh, it's 10. Ooh, it's 13 right now.
My
dopamine hit. Dopamine hit.
my grandmother used to record the daily highs and lows and just keep a running log of what the highs and lows were.
I don't know why it's so interesting. I guess it's just something to like give my mind a little ooh. Think about that, would you? I don't know.
It's not a very good.
Why don't we do that with
puzzle.
everything? Like, why don't you check the fridge temperatures a few times a day? Jot those down.
Instant read thermometers.
27.
Oh, the fridge spiked to 41 degrees today. I'm gonna have to throw it out. Oh,
Yep.
I better warn the children.
Warn the children. Sound the alarm.
But there is a lot, like, whenever I visit my parents, my mom's like, you hear about what's going to happen next Thursday? Is everyone going to be careful?
I watched the 10-day extended
Yeah, I
forecast.
do too. I'm a huge fan of the 10-day. The 10-day. That's what it's all about.
I wonder, like, is she trying to protect against something? Like, is she like, I wanted to do something outdoors that day in the middle of the winter?
I certainly didn't.
Or is it like fear of driving, perhaps? Some people get real intimidated by I got to drive in the snow, got to drive in the rain.
I don't really.
Ugh.
Very rarely is there a surprise snowstorm that I don't know about a couple days in advance.
Because
and if
you're
there is,
surrounded by old
it's pretty
ladies.
minimal. Yeah. Yeah.
The old ladies will sound the alarm.
It is true. The old ladies in the nursing home who never had to drive, buy their own food, do anything would
They're
be
confined.
terrified of
They're not
of
coming
the
out of
weather.
the home for
Hey.
at least a month.
Can you imagine like a nursing assistant being like, "Don't worry, it doesn't affect
I'm
you."
cold and frightened.
Like, you don't have to.
We're gonna put your snow tires on your wheelchair.
There have been a couple times, not so much this year because now I really watch it. But I've gone to the supermarket and only noticed snow coming because there's no bread left.
Yeah, people panic whenever there's even like a 2 inches of snow.
the milk sandwiches
The grocery
just fly
stores are
off the
just
shelves.
swarms of people.
Yeah.
I just want to go get a steak for dinner.
Yeah, can I have a-
Here's
people
what I
are-
want to know.
So steak and ice cream.
When we were
please.
kids, I always heard the milk and bread thing.
Yep.
Now,
Who eats milk and bread on a normal day? And it's not even like milk
John.
lasts if the power goes out.
milk and bread.
Well, you put it out in the snow.
I guess so. At that point, you
put
might
it
as well
out
buy
in
everything. Spam is probably your best bet for calories. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at some
It's not
point,
like I'm gonna run out of food. You know, in my house.
at some point in my adulthood, probably in my 20s, people on social media started making a big deal about how irrational it was to get milk and bread. So the whole thing's come around for full circle where everybody's over aware of how dumb it is. It's kind of like how everybody feels the need to like, reiterate that Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I'm like, I got it. Every year you come out with this shit. And by the way, it's not. And it's like
It's set in Christmas time.
Yeah.
Does that make anything around the Christmas time?
Yeah.
A Christmas movie?
Christmas
Does that make Home Alone a Christmas movie?
definitely.
Was The Departed set around the Christmas time?
No, Home Alone is. I
think it was.
Home Alone is a Christmas movie. I'd say that there needs to be like at least a 50% Christmas theme or quotient.
Okay.
To make it a Christmas movie, like It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
I mean, it clearly is.
A little bit.
It clearly is, but I'd say it just makes it.
Okay.
But
Abel the Hugh Monkey.
yeah, probably not really.
I think it's not.
I'd like to call it one.
It's a Christmas movie.
People have Santa hats in it. But yeah, so social media has got that way of like every year restating something that like I found that funny the first year that social media was squawking about this. Social media is a toxic place. I'm done with it, even though I check it all the time.
How long has it been, Frankie, since you social media?
You're just confirming that you're
just go
still done with it.
cold turkey and get out of it altogether.
It's a good idea. It's hard when you're like trying to like promote like a YouTube channel. I mean,
yeah.
I
Would
can,
you use personal accounts
Well, the
identified
problem-
as Frankie?
the way they have it is that like the page is owned by a personal account, so you can't just have the Red Cow account. You know, but that'd be nice. I actually would do that because there was a time I think when I was like, this is kind of nice. We can all have like open discussions about things that matter to us, and even if we have disagreement, it'll be interesting. No, it's gotten so sludgy, so crappy.
I just stick to Reddit. Who needs
Ugh,
to?
I don't even go there.
That's insane.
What do you get on Reddit?
I don't know. Just endless hours of scrolling.
I do it too. I just
My morning routine whilst I'm taking my dump, all the way
For
until
real?
yeah. Take a dump while scrolling through Reddit. Who doesn't?
There's so much. There's so much to see. There's always
there's
new
nothing to
bullshit.
see.
Always something new. What do you mean there's nothing to see? What else are you using to get your
Nothing.
That's insane.
Yeah, if you don't use Reddit, you wouldn't understand. That's how it goes. It's
uses it.
it's the same thing as Facebook.
I mean, I use it very like I visit the Red Cow Reddit.
it's the same.
And
thing
every
as
once in a
Facebook,
while,
it's
like
a little more
someone
like,
on my
interesting.
someone in some of the various Discord channels that I'm in will post something to a link for a video game that I happen to play or something on a Reddit, and I might go check it out. But it's like I just avoid Reddit.
Well, I've never been like a Redditor myself. So what's like, I don't know. Sell me.
It's just popular news, and it's all kind of aggregated based off of upvotes.
So
So
you're talking about
anything you
mostly
like.
that front page.
the popular
'Cause
section, but
I've been finding myself going through that
I can
too.
scroll
There's some
through
good stuff in there.
400 things. You just keep going down and keep going down.
Well,
and
because there's a lot of variety too. Like, so there's some funny posts, right? There's news posts. There's these I love these ask Reddit ones where somebody will just pose a question to the
AMAs, Ask Me Anything.
ask me
There's
anythings.
Are
various
you
people
actually
on
like
there.
reading like
Oh yeah, so
Interestingly,
like,
it's the only part, the only thing on the internet that I read through comments of is Reddit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll read through 400 comments because it's actually really funny.
yeah, or like somebody will post a thing and ask people, what was the last stupid thing you did, or what was the stupidest thing you've done in the past year, and people will reply, and there'll be 1,000 of them, and you can just read these little tiny blips about people's
Right.
lives, and
Yeah.
it's mildly interesting, you know. It's enough to sustain
Fantastic.
you for.
I mean, I guess that's essentially what I'm doing on Facebook. And at this point, I feel like I don't know 70% of my Facebook timeline. I mean, some of them are fans, some of them are distant classmates.
distant classmates.
It needs a culling, but I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have under 100 friends, so I don't need to worry about it.
Also, there's like this bad habit of like whenever, like, so I almost never post anything other than the content when it goes up.
Yeah.
But there's been a few times where it's probably 3 times a year, 4 times a year. I have some opinion that I do want to open up to some broad discussion.
Yeah.
I want to get like a variety of opinions on
Yeah.
it. But because it really only shows your posts to like the 5 people who care about you, like they're the only ones who reply.
This is why I think Reddit's a better place to get to air
Yeah.
that kind of thing, right? Because if it's interesting at all to anybody, you'll get at least a few replies. And even if
That's
you get
interesting.
just 20 replies to your thing, even if it wasn't that popular, you're still getting 20 replies to
Are you
your thing.
actively posting? I'm strictly a lurker. I only read and nothing else.
I actually have a couple accounts. I have
You got a few throwaways.
I do. I have
burner phones.
Are you
well,
subscri-
I have the Junt Mac one, which is the one that I make all the posts with, and sometimes I'll
Interacting with
post
an
on-
eye and interacting with 2 eyes.
Yeah, and I got a couple more too.
Because you don't
I
want
post on some of
you
them.
don't want to end up in a Ken Bone situation.
I don't know what that means.
No, tell us.
Ken Bone was this dude that asked a question during one of the general election debates, and he had like a goofy mustache and a stupid sweater, and he looked really funky. His name was Ken Bone. Well, he ended up becoming for like 2 seconds a hero, a political hero, because he was like on the side of Hillary. Maybe I don't know. I don't remember.
Whatever.
But then people started going through his through his Reddit history and found him to, I don't know, be really into like pregnant girls and stuff. And they were like, ew.
Good for him. I feel like everybody that gets investigated into is racist.
Well, I mean,
They've got some type of dark history in the KKK.
if you look at anyone close enough, you can point at something and say, "God, that person is whole." You know, it's
Whoa.
But the same people
Who
don't
among us?
think anything that they're doing is
among us isn't whole.
What was that? A small stroke?
Sometimes I just let John do that sort of stuff. Work it out in editing. Either slow it down or remove it. Well, so I guess I could go to the ye olds.
So did you ever finish fully explaining how are we? And are we segueing to I hear talking?
I don't know. I don't know what we're doing.
What are we doing here?
I don't know.
It would come with new graphics. I don't know.
Those are those from Paint.
Yeah.
I think maybe we
Maybe.
stick with Hawaii as a brand. But we reboot it in video form.
All right.
Is that the only change? Is just going to video?
I guess you would go back to episode 1. That means we'll never get to that elusive 100, which was only like 11 episodes away.
It'll also get much better when there's a table. This isn't right. It's just not right.
We wouldn't even do it here.
No.
So we were thinking. I was thinking standing. What do you think about doing How Are We standing?
I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that.
John's obviously.
I'm not sure. I'm
I'm
okay with that.
obviously against it, and it's not just because I'm fat, by the way. Even though that's I understand how everyone would make that association. I think like having people
Lay it on me then, Junt.
I think having people stand around anything and talk for an hour is factually unpleasant for the people.
Is the camera seeing our legs?
No, not much. Maybe just.
Then
from
what's
here
the
up.
difference?
It's unpleasant to watch standing people.
It's what I just heard. It's uncomfortable. If you can have a meeting at work, right?
But it's a real radio podcast tradition, standing for vocal quality. You're supposed to have better energy, better vocal quality standing.
Is that
Am I
what we're
wrong?
concerned
This
about
is-
around
this
here?
is the thing.
Yeah, we're so
your
worried
farts
about
aren't as
vocal
muffled.
quality.
Well, look, I
can't project
watch a lot of
well sitting
podcasts,
on
sometimes
this
they're
couch.
Standing, sometimes they're sitting. It's.
Boston Public Radio stands.
And damn it, that's the pinnacle of radio.
Do they do video? Because that's his next argument. So you got to like slow down because he'll fuck us.
I'm watching you.
I'm okay with sitting. I'm not okay with this.
Why don't you
A
ask
step stool
Reddit?
in front of me,
Yeah.
wires all over the place.
Look, this
Very
is
unsettling.
this is not permanent.
This is a temp set. All right, temp set.
I don't think I should be on a couch. That's not right either.
Yeah, you don't want to be.
You
on
don't
the
like the
couch.
casting
I'll
couch?
bring my own chair next time.
That was the concept was So standing height table, although it could lower. Black curtain in the back.
Why don't you all just sit on yoga balls, the big balls?
I won't even dignify that with a response.
Well, I don't know. Do you have an opinion? How would you prefer to podcast?
Table, chairs around it the way we used to.
Yeah.
Back in the Emerson building.
Yeah, I actually thought that was some of the best stuff we. That was some of the most.
Those are some of our
I don't have
finest
any
hours.
I don't have any words.
Yeah, I actually thought that was sitting was awesome.
It was so unusual.
Look, you're quick. You can't really get mad at me about it.
All right, I give up. Fine, we'll stand. Everybody up. Everybody up. Get up. We're standing for the rest of the fucking podcast.
Now it's
sitting
just fully crotch.
I am sitting down in protest.
I think we're out of frame.
Sitting down in protest.
I just want to point out there's no way he would have actually kept that going for the next.
You want it?
I just want you to do laps. While
We should do this while we run.
Well, there's also I want to do over on the long wall that the audience can't see, like a table for many more people. This would only be for 2 to 3.
There's something fun about, we used to have rotating folks come through. Paula was a staple for maybe
7 episodes.
Is it 7? I thought like more was like 20.
It was, yeah.
20.
You're right.
And then we had
But you didn't want her on there.
Kyle. No, she was a terrible human.
She's got her own show going now with Glitter Bitches, which seems to be defunct.
Is she around the area sometimes? We should pull her back in.
Yeah,
Pull her back into the fold.
I'm sure she'd love it. I'm sure you'd love it. I'm sure Mike would love it.
Everybody would love it.
Paula's the worst.
Thanks, Mike.
That's true. Kyle was actually, I thought, a decent wingman. A guy in the wings. I don't mean wingman.
So with the reboot, I've been wondering, do we retell old stories that we told during the original How
Well, that's why. See, I'm not keen to do that. I'm not keen to just reiterate everything. So I think maybe we just keep this How Are We train going.
2017 onward.
No
Choo-choo.
No,
All right.
no reboot.
We're not looking back.
We're not looking back. Choo choo. Yeah. So there's also we're gonna have a green screen here, so we can do How Are We on a green screen. If you always wanted to like put us in different times and different eras.
John's kitchen.
See, we didn't leave the kitchen. Yeah, so is that okay? I don't know. And you can come down fairly frequently.
Sounds good to me.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
So you having a running list of items?
I have conversation items from years ago.
Years ago.
Well, even though we're supposed to be starting 2017 onward, let's pull back to the earliest.
Yeah, what's
earliest thing you had that we haven't
first
addressed?
one you have there, Frankie?
Let's see.
The very first item.
Bears? Bring a bear on the show?
Like the gay?
Yeah.
The gay? I'm stopping it there.
The gays?
I must have wanted to talk about...
John, are you considered a bear?
Am I considered a bear?
You're a gay man, correct?
Yes, correct.
He's not-
Factual.
no, he's not hairy.
I mean,
You're not.
I'm hairy-ish.
His face is very hairy.
His-
How hairy do you have to be? What's the
Yeah, what-
line?
I mean,
Well,
I
as
don't
a
think
bear
Frankie
myself,
has the
Like
answer.
45% body hair? Like what?
So, I went to a bear bar a long time ago.
I remember.
And I learned, not for myself, but it was actually
research.
It was actually,
Couldn't it just be for you?
it really was for a research paper, which is really weird. I went to the wild and searched for bears. No, it was about like exploring other cultures or something. It was for like it was a bad master's class, and they what I learned was that just being fat, gay, and hairy does not a bear make.
They don't want you.
You got to be
You
pretty.
were ostracized from the bear club.
No, I was Marilyn Monroe in that place.
So obviously, being fat and hairy was fine.
What I'm trying to say is that there are sub designations, and like a bear, the proper designation of a bear is somebody I would say between 300 and 400 pounds. So it's pretty sizable. You got to be pretty sizable, and either a big or noticeable beard, and a lot of body hair. Body hair is a really big piece.
300 or 400 pounds. Who told you this?
No, I don't.
The bears!
I don't think that's true. I don't
The
think that's
Council of Bears? They came up with
I think that- I
recorded
the official definition?
I think that there is something to
The
your
official
point
bear
about
club
facial
for
hair,
men.
Right? I think that's
What are you basing this on? I went to a bear bar. What did you do?
One bear bar.
Have a gay experience.
It's 300 to 400
No.
pounds, and chubby, the category of chubby.
Yeah.
Let's call that.
So you can't be a 5 foot, 200 pound man that's a bear.
Oh, they gotta be tall too. So it's
What?
you gotta be like not tall, not hugely tall, but
Look at this
I gotta be-
hetero trying to.
I don't know what to tell you.
Because otherwise you start being a cub. Because then they have designations like cub.
No!
You become a cub.
No,
In the wild, cubs designate what? Younger. Yeah,
Yes.
it's age. It's strictly
It is
age.
not.
Of course it is.
It is.
You don't see a 8-year-old bear cub out in the wild.
That's what they told me. And then there's otters.
Otters are something completely different.
Yeah, but it's part of the.
Do you just sit there and beat
Bear
your stomach, or like,
No, they're
I
like
think it's part of the mammal community.
they like that would be somebody who is like somewhat slim, but they still have a lot of body hair and a lot of facial hair.
Not necessarily.
John, I'm not making this stuff up.
Look, you have
I'm not pulling this out of my
You got a
ass.
The
single
300 and 400
source.
pound queens at the bar are.
A single source.
Yeah. A
We
single
need
song.
more research.
Except wasn't your source wasn't one of the guys part of the Bear Association of Boston?
Yes.
Like it's not just like one
Just because
random bear bar.
you throw
He
the
was a
word
bab.
association at the end of something doesn't make
you a pro bear.
What association do you fuckers have?
It's not like it's the American Medical Association we're talking about here. Boston Bear Association.
The BBA. I'm a charter member of the BBA.
I call to order. Do I have?
So wait a minute, you're calling bullshit on the Boston Bear Association.
I am.
But
do they have
John-
approved minutes?
but,
Can I go to
John,
attend a meeting?
Non-association individual John is credible.
No, but
You're not
I feel
calling
like
him out.
as a society, especially of a society of gay men here, we've come up with what we know bears to be. They can't come up with their own terms for themselves.
Yeah.
Neither one
The
of
rest
you
of society.
I agree.
Shush.
You shut up. I agree.
Neither one of you is the slightest bit attracted to bears. No. And so why would you dig into what they are?
As I get older,
I have a chance in the community.
Yeah, not bears. Yeah. I have a chance to thrive.
Why are you doing this to
This
me?
is my fallback plan.
Let me be
If
me.
things go south with you and Nina, you're becoming a bear.
Characteristics.
Characteristics.
Jack Frischter notes that bears celebrate.
Who's Jack Frischner?
Yeah,
the president?
Do you want to fall down a wiki hole right now? Secondary sexual characteristics of the male: facial hair, body hair, proportional size, baldness.
Okay.
I didn't know that was part of it.
See, this is some guy that's bald and fat, and he's like, I need to throw this in there.
Over the years, bear culture has subdivided itself. Many claim discrimination has increased within the bear community as some men
We're not in the bear community.
who self-identify as bears or muscle bears do not welcome higher body fat men. See chub. Yeah, there's chubs. They were really big on that.
That, a 300, maybe 400 pound guy would be a chub.
I think so.
yeah, not a bear.
Not a bear.
A bear?
Bears are. I think bears strong.
Then we
like
have-
strong, like big guys.
Yeah, maybe some just still overweight.
Yeah. Overweight,
leather
but also
bears.
some muscle.
Yeah.
Do you encounter those? The rare species
I
of
know
leather bear?
I know. That's my favorite cereal.
Leather bears?
Leather bear.
My God.
Can't get enough of that leather bear.
Ash chap. Marshmallows.
Many claim discrimination has increased. Yeah, we already read that. A common criticism of the bear community is that some self-described bears tend to exclude men who do not fit their standards of a real bear. Fat or lack of it is seen by some as a political issue.
Frankie.
Some of whom
We're going to Congress with this.
I'm just a bear.
You read nothing about 300 to 400 pounds, right? Because that's crazy talk. We're getting on a scale at the Bear Club.
It seems to be like based on the preference of the person who's looking for said bear.
Motherfucker, I gave you a 100-pound range. I didn't say it was precise. Just fat, big and fat and hairy. And I guess bald.
I'm just submitting that you can be 200, 250 pounds and be a bear.
I agree.
Be equally
Fine.
a bear as the 300,
Frank is
350
willing to
pound
concede
guy.
the point.
Is that all this was? Was you wanted
No, it
to get
originated from me
250
asking
pounders in
if
there?
John was a bear.
Well, no, because he doesn't have the.
But I didn't know. That's where we.
Well,
that's where
will
we
you
went off.
believe me about that?
I guess so. I guess I will.
The lack of you have to have at least a beard. Apparently, baldness is part of it. That was my first item.
The baldness thing seems weird to me. As a person who has no skin in the game, the bald thing seems weird to me.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Well, because it's supposed to be the opposite.
What was the name of the lady? Was it Jane Goodall? The lady with the
gorillas?
apes?
Gorillas?
Yeah.
Frankie Goodall at the Bear Club. The safari hat on.
He went foraging
Peeking up above
with
the bar and
bears.
taking photos of gay men. Did you see any assless chaps while you were there? I'm always curious about that.
No, they weren't being all that sexual at this particular
No.
event. They were all just
Just
kind
a
of
bunch
like
of drunks.
hanging out.
Yeah.
And then they had a small meeting where they tried to hash this shit out.
Did they really? Is that what they were talking about?
No, but I don't know what they were.
was totally
I think they were talking
fabricated.
about like future meetups and stuff.
Okay.
Not sexual.
Very good.
It was just like let's hang out. Let's go to an amusement park and not be able to get on any of the rides.
You just cracked yourself up with that one.
Well, they wouldn't be able to go.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
By your definition, they might not be able to.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, by your definition of chub, the chub,
But could they ride the Bear Fair Bear ride?
the chubs cannot go to Six Flags. I don't know. I had a lot of stuff in here. I don't even know where to start.
Second item.
Yeah, let's just go right down the list.
Second item.
Let's not do that.
Item 2.
No, come on, Frank.
Lightning round.
Come on. What's item 2?
Why not?
Spit it out.
The next item is lamb chops play along. I
All right.
have no idea.
Keep going.
What did I want to talk about? That freaky Sherry woman?
Charlie horse?
Is she dead? She's dead.
We can only
Similar to a high.
I remember years ago, we would talk about, it's like that typical conversation about what would you do if you had millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron had this thing about how he would have all of his. This is like age 20, Aaron. He wants to He wants to have all of his friends kidnapped in the middle of the night.
What?
And brought to some remote location by helicopter. And
Who
then-
told you this?
You did.
This is bullshit.
And then
I don't remember any of
he
this.
would greet us in a white suit.
I think you both want to remember this.
This is a
I
freaky
made this
need of
up.
fabrication right here.
And he would like reveal that he had these millions.
I don't remember this.
All right, what would you do with it?
Did you write this down 2 years ago?
It says Aaron wins lottery, wears white suit.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Definitive.
from the Frankie Association. It says Jack Frichter. Aaron would also be bald under these circumstances.
Between 300 and 400 pounds.
Get big suit.
Bald 300 to 400 pounds in a white suit.
I'd be once accepted by the Bears. All right, what else do we got? Because who knows what that nonsense was all about.
Remember I wrote a song, well, I didn't really. I repurposed an I Need to Lose 10 Pounds song for a Spanish class.
No.
No.
Were we even in the same Spanish class?
Sure we were, the first year. In fact, we were in a class with your sister, if you
I don't
Senora
remember any of
Paveo?
this.
Jesus Christ, how am I supposed to...
Was it Senora Paveo?
Yeah.
And you think my
about
memory is bad.
2017.
Maybe it's just that yours is freakishly good.
We were in a class freshman year together. It's not that hard to remember that. It was a whole semester of content.
I was supposed to remember Frankie repurposing a song.
We were in the same Spanish class.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We were?
Yes. Spanish 1.
We should partner up. You don't remember anything.
You, me, and
I
Bob.
remember everything.
Do you not remember Spanish class at all?
I mean, I remember taking Spanish. Like, I remember I took a
My
year of Spanish.
my Spanish 1 class. You were in there, and so was Val.
I vaguely remember a high school teacher.
Is this a gay thing?
No.
Or they don't remember anything?
Brain damage.
Well, I remember she was trying to teach us conjugations. and she was like, if you can make up a song, a jingle, to remember the conjugations, you'll get some 10 points on the next test or something. Not that you needed it, by the way, because like the Senora Paveo tests, you can just rock through.
I have to bleep that out.
Yes, not dead.
No, she's still quite alive.
Tiny Tim, who did not die.
Well, that's not offensive.
So I took John had by that point written an instrumental for the school bus song from 10 Pounds. Here's
No
the
fat
bus,
chicks.
it'll take us to school. Yeah. And so I used that and wrote to conjugate, go in the yo.
Yes. I think I did
ERIR
hear
become
this.
G-O, except for trier, put an I before the G. That's those 5 words.
Paveo was
I
always
hope
ready
you
in a
see.
state to blow you.
But not my future wife.
What?
She and Nina had some shit go down.
Really?
Yeah.
She accused me of cheating and actually brought me to the guidance counselors and said that I wrote on the desk and that no one else used that desk. And I said in front
No
of her.
one else used the desk. 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're there for 50 minutes. No
Yes.
one else uses
no
that.
one,
No
no one else
one.
uses it. So I sat there and in front of everybody I said, I do not need to cheat on her test. Nobody needs to cheat on her test. They're easy. The whole class is easy.
She's literally a teacher.
Now,
Is that when they accuse her not even working there?
and then Frankie's going to tell you, we revisited Rate My Teacher a year ago,
Yeah.
and other people had the same complaints. Did
Really?
she accuse them of cheating?
in 2008, years after graduating, somebody was like, she oddly accused me of cheating.
Was
Everybody
it a woman?
else,
She was awfully sexual with the guys. She was very flirtatious.
Sexual?
Yeah, very sensual.
I don't remember any of
I
that.
don't recall this.
I do not recall.
No? She was very kind of flirtatious with all,
lot of good
all
it
the
did
guys.
me.
Well,
It could have gone somewhere.
a lot of hugging.
I mean, I wasn't a strapping young lad back then. I was still the fat lump
Now,
that I am now.
she couldn't keep her hands off of my Adidas pants. I used to carry her around in my duffel bag.
I believe if she still teaches, I know that she played that song for future classes for years.
Really?
Yeah, and it's possible it continues. Meaning, when it comes to jingles, I went above and beyond. I think it's too much of a jingle. I think there's too much modulation in it. I think it goes up in pitch too much.
too much.
I think
Have you thought about submitting a new one?
yeah, I think it's too much. I'd like to workshop it. Can I tell you about pumping gas in my family?
Sure. As I've said once before, lay it on me.
We all grew up before self-service pumps, right? Remember when everything was full?
What does that mean? No. What the fuck are you talking about?
Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're totally wrong.
Fine.
I feel like self-service has been around for a long time.
Yeah, it has.
Aaron, this I'll concede because I could easily have been thrown by my family's habits. But as far as bears go, it's 300 to
like
400 pounds. White suits, all of them,
Full-service gas station.
and bald. No,
Does your family drive around looking for a full-service station?
here's what I know. Until I was maybe 7 or 8, we always went to full service gas.
Yeah.
And then sometime around when I was 7 or 8.
It's our white privilege of Westport. There were lots of local full service gas.
Is that what it was?
stations.
They all did full service and then they slowly phased out full service?
And because they couldn't compete with a lot of the bigger companies that moved in.
Yeah.
I mean, now you have the Cumbies.
I remember, a big Cumbies
Shell. Shell was the only self-service station, the one up in Dart, just over.
What do you get from a full service? All you really get is
They used to
extra
be-
wait time. Because now you got to wait for somebody to come to your car. If they're
Welcome
servicing
to New
other
Jersey.
cars, there are states that are strictly full service.
Well, let me
only.
tell you, as someone who in the summer I don't care, I'll go anywhere. In the winter, I actively seek out full service stations. I know where they all are, the few that are left.
I get
and
my
will
gas
go to-
based off of when I'm
'Cause you
getting
don't wanna get out of the
low.
warm.
Yeah.
And I'll pass by the nearest one. I don't
like
seek
8
out
cents
a
more.
cheaper gas. I don't seek out a full service, a self service. Just that I need gas.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's really awful weather outside, I'd rather just sit in my car and pay 10 cents extra for somebody.
Remember, he watches the weather pretty closely.
I do.
Refuse
I know
to stand up
exactly.
while potting.
No, but
It's 2 minutes. 2 minutes outside to pump gas.
I remember
okay.
the full service gas
Life
stations.
will go on.
though.
John
Because like he would
wants to be
like
comfortable.
they'd ask you what you want. They'd
another-
like wash your windshield.
I've got another
for you,
real
and, like,
issue.
you could even ask them, "Can you check the oil?" Because back then you had like shittier cars. that
I
were
actually
always
did
burning
that
through
a few,
oil.
not too long ago in the Great Scheme. I asked them to check the oil, and they did.
My quandary with full service nowadays, because sometimes I'll run by one and they will wash your window and all this
Sure.
uncomfortable stuff. I'm sitting in the car, I'm watching this blue collar guy wash away, and don't know what to do. I don't want to
collar.
I don't want to make eye contact.
It's not the guy with the bottle of Windex.
What are
at
you,
the
white
street
collar?
corner.
White hard hat?
I'm not a blue collar window washer.
Okay.
The tipping.
anymore.
The tipping. I now feel obligated to tip.
You don't have to.
No, you didn't. You don't tip it. Full
A-holes.
service.
This is exactly what's going on. So
You don't tip at a full
you
service
absolutely.
gas
He's
station.
doing a service. They take tips if they.
When you tip and when you don't tip.
I can understand not knowing.
In the fact that they accept a tip
Restaurants
from me
you
means
tip.
people do it.
I have never
tip.
heard of that even, like tipping at a
Man, I've seen you with the bread basket at Not Your Average Joe's, and I can see you not tipping at full service gas stations. Yeah, the meanest person I've ever seen is John getting the bread basket at Not Your Average Joe's. He just rips through pieces of bread, very unhappy that they're not perfectly done in some way, shape, or form, and you just leave the husks left over, and then you demand another basket. I always feel very bad for the waitress.
Leaving the
Like she goes home just hot shower crying. That man at table 14 today.
let the misery wash over her.
She chose her love.
I don't remember a time where I don't remember a time, to be fair, where the Husks got sent back.
Last time we were there, they were
Really?
just
He's full of shit. The man's full of shit.
Like,
selective memories now, people.
because normally I'll eat the husks.
Look, it is. Let me lay it on the table here because there is some small modicums of truth in Aaron's bullshit.
That's normally the case. Aaron's
Sure,
bullshit,
sure.
There are modicums.
Conveniently forget the husks this time around.
I have been known to paw through the bread
Yeah.
to find the pieces.
That's a fact.
That have the.
There's never been
are
a-
not crust on any
You want a
side.
nice, fluffy, no cornered.
That's
bread.
right.
There's never been a carbonated glass of soda there. There's at least 2 or 3 going back.
I'm still addressing the bread
woman-
situation.
This
Which
woman
one
has
you move on
worked
to
her
soda?
ass off
Let me pause you
for things out of her control.
I've always found it. I've never made a federal issue out of it.
Yeah.
I always found it a little bit rude to paw through the bread like that because what if I prefer the breads with no corners?
Get in
Why
there.
do you get pregnant?
Get in there.
Well,
There
the dinner should not be a.
There were
competition.
specific comments about that bread being a couple days old, and then you would assume when you got a new basket, suddenly you're gonna have a fresh baked loaf of bread. It was a Sunday. You were getting the same.
I didn't say a single word about it.
Warehouse of old bread, but somehow the next basket's gonna be better. This poor woman.
I didn't say a single.
This poor woman. I spent many a night just sitting,
reminds me of
lying
the
awake
rice.
at night thinking about her.
Yes.
The rice at Pub 99 one time. It was like undercooked, and the waitress was like, "Do you want something else?" And he's like, "No, I just want some more rice." And she's like, so she brought out like more of the same undercooked rice. And then he's like, "She's not getting a tip." She's not getting a tip.
One of
and he didn't tip
one of
her.
my favorite John restaurant stories, which we probably told in the past, was
Look, you reap what you sow.
the never-ending pasta bowl, which is I'll never go again.
Bone fucking
oh,
dry.
man.
But the great thing about this waitress, she I think purposefully
This is
after
new, right? This happened recently.
a couple
No,
years ago.
it's old. But let me
Not that old.
Let me say you are right here because just recently, the day I got my new car, which isn't that long ago, I went to Olive Garden. I don't go to Olive Garden anymore, but we went because Matt wanted to go, and the pasta came out bone dry, and I made a big stink about it. I made a really big stink about it. And,
How big?
Pretty bad. I had to call in the manager.
Just don't go.
40% less sauce.
Oh, it was disgusting.
So he
It was
got
disgusting.
kind of angry about it, and he was.
I was actually angry
Instead
about
of
it.
just saying, "Hey, could I get some more sauce?" She'd probably oblige and just come and bring you a small container of it. You decide that you're going to pick up the plate, bring it closer to her, and go, "Look, bone dry," and you're sifting through it about how there's not enough sauce on it. She proceeded for every bowl that you received after that, about 3 more.
Yep.
You had to say the same thing, that it was bone dry, and every time she took another
Is that true?
few minutes.
Because I think I was there for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know it's not her fault, but she's working for a shitty company. She should find a better job.
Holy shit. That's a leap. Like,
I see the anger. I see that anger behind the whole interaction.
Well, just
between
say-
the
No, I
waitress.
mean, the real solution is for me to not go to those restaurants anymore, and I don't. That's the thing. I rarely go to Joe's, and I rarely go to Olive
so
Garden.
I'm trying to imagine, like, I come home from my job. I'm visibly upset. Nina's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I think I gotta quit." And she's like, "Why?" And I'm like, This guy today.
This guy really wanted extra
He really-
sauce on his.
he
It was
pointed
bone
out
dry.
rightfully that we don't put enough sauce on.
I work for a company that desauces the pasta.
And, I
I can't work for these monsters anymore.
You guys are making me out to be this shitty person. And let me just say, if you go to a business
I can't work
and
for this pasta conglomerate.
and the service sucks, you don't go to the business again.
Right.
In defense of John, when did John become the guy who treats waitresses like crap? Because I remember Aaron going out with Aaron and always being like that poor waitress.
Flirtatious. We were on the brink of intercourse usually.
You made their night so hard. You just took way more time than they wanted to spend with you.
I'm always a great tipper, very complimentary.
Excuse
whenever
you.
I've been rude to them,
I'll tell you a time. I'll tell you a
I
time.
slipped it in the back instead of the front. What happened?
The location, Olive Garden. Everything's going well. You're on the brink of intercourse.
There's always a game of courting with me and the waitress. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been rude to one.
Gay guy thing. They flirt with women who clearly.
Unlike the gas station attendant, where
Which I never even finished what I was saying. But it was never ending possible because it's pretty much the only time that we go. And you said, "Can I pack up the rest of what I have?" And she said, "No, that's against policy."
fully deserved that one. And I did call the manager over, I think.
Except she was not declining you from packing up what you had left. You wanted to order a bowl and said like wrap it to go.
In my defense,
They have changed
had
the
we
policy.
not done that many a year prior to that, I always remember going there.
You got
shaking-
vindictive is the point because you said,
Well-
"You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep ordering pasta after pasta after pasta."
And how many more bowls did I eat?
You tried to eat a bunch of them, but you were getting really sick. Because you were like, they're going to end up wasting more pasta with this shitty policy.
Out of spite, I
And this
did eat
sounds to
another
me a
couple
lot-
bowls.
This sounds to me a lot like
After we-
That sounds way worse than any of the shit I ever did.
After we asked for the check, I did order a couple more bowls out of spite, just to make myself sick and stick it to the woman.
I have to say, the few times I've gone to Olive Garden in the recent past, I remember a time when like you would go there for those breadsticks and they would just never come out, and if they did, they were cold and there was two.
I've never been a fan of the breadsticks.
Recently, yeah, that's strange because they're
bad. They're awful.
They're salty and garlicky. There's something off
Well,
about
that's
them.
kind of what I like.
Joe's bread is way, way better.
I agree, but there was a time when, though, if they come out nice and warm, nice and garlicky, those are good little breadsticks. They normally go well with your pasta. No, they're not
But
shitty.
it's bone dry though,
Oh yeah, right. You're like, I don't
and you're
have,
just making it more dry with your
I don't have the sauce
breadsticks.
to
Hey,
spend.
if you enjoy it, that's all that matters.
Well, I just wanted to say I've noticed that they've been coming out a lot quicker. The service has been a little bit more spot on last couple of times we've been there. I thought
I haven't been in years. Years and
it's
years.
pretty enjoyable.
We go for salad, basically.
Fantastic.
The salad is good. I'll
Yep.
say
I'm
that.
trying to think the last time I ate at an Olive Garden.
Yeah, if you kind of just stick to the soup and salad, you're actually in a pretty good spot.
But let me tell you, you
Don't
go
go
to a
into the
place
pasta.
that's a little better. Like there's a place called the Pasta House out in Fairhaven.
It's in the parking lot of like a Walmart. It's really strange.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's just like in the middle of a
we
parking
went.
lot.
We went.
You were not a fan.
But there's nothing for me to eat.
They
It's
built the
very,
parking
very,
lot
very
around
deep.
it.
Yeah,
It was nice.
It was there, and
was
then they
there
built
once
a
in a
parking
field
lot
and-
around it.
Yeah, we went once.
but it's such better quality food than Olive Garden.
No, Olive
It kinda
Garden.
puts it
Olive
to
Garden
shame.
does legitimately suck.
Olive Garden is a box of Prince pasta and a jar of like ragu tomato sauce. Like that's
that you're
all
paying
it is.
$17 for a meal.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the Never Ending Possible is what, $9 or something like
Yeah,
that?
that's the only reason to go.
But like, if
And
you,
even then, you're not eating $1's worth of pasta.
if you could split it into some kind of percentage, what would you say going out to eat? Like most of what you're spending money on is the experience and the company and the like leaving the house. Like you're not. It's not really like it's not like every dollar goes to the food. You know, like I what I'm trying to say is like. If you try to say, well, we could have just bought Prince pasta, brought it home, and have just as good of a time.
Yeah, I understand. There's obviously the benefit to going out, right? And you're spending time with your friends and whatnot. But you don't go to a shitty restaurant.
I do love they're rolling out these checkout kiosks where you can
Oh,
split
the
checks.
Zios? Yeah.
Nice.
You can split
Yeah,
your
that's
checks
nice.
in between multiple people.
They can
different
upsell you some
cards.
puzzles.
I can check out whatever I want. It's fantastic.
You
I
can
love
play
it.
Bejeweled on it
I've-
for $3.
Star Trek trivia.
I do love
Did
being
you
able.
fall for it?
I did.
Holy! I did.
They got $1 from me.
You can't fall for that. Really, they're baiting children at the table.
Yeah.
They're like, come on, kids.
You have your cell phone. Why would you play a game on
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
They got me,
ridiculous.
though. They got me.
Because it's not
My
your
card
phone.
is already out. I was ready to pay.
I do love those though. Friendly's has them. Applebee's has them. Like
I
a lot
have
of
no
places
idea
have
what
them.
this thing is.
Really?
I've never seen this
It's
thing.
my dream come true. I've been asking for it for years. They finally have done it. I heard that Europe was doing it long
Yeah.
The only thing we're short now is a soda fountain at the table.
And
That's
that
the
would- that
only
would
thing
be
we
it.
need.
Well, so it,
Or just one you can get yourself, like nearby.
You can at any time check the balance and what's on your check.
Yep.
You can at any time swipe and pay, and you can do the tip right on there. No pen and paper.
You don't have to like interact with the waitress any further. You can actually
You
call
can
the
split-
server
You
over
can
too.
split the tab any way you want.
Because that was always the biggest gripe is asking a waitress today was split between two and
And,
three people.
and I have
It was
gotten
always
a
such
lot of
thing.
looks from waitresses who don't want to split your bill.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I wish you had told me at the beginning. You know.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is this? Like,
Yeah.
like if the three of us go into a Best Buy and we each buy something, they're like, well, I was going to ring you all up together. Like, well,
I agree with you
It's
there.
it's a very different situation for going into like Best Buy.
but I think I want the culture to change.
So,
And I
but-
think it's changing.
Like, I mean, it would be
what is the
akin
splitting
to going into
costing?
Best Buy. You with like three of your friends, you all pick up a couple things, you all throw them on the counter at the same time. They ring it all up, and then you're like, oh, well, we wanted to split that.
So when I went to Montreal, it's always assumed that it's separate. It's never assumed that you're eating together. And then if you want, you can ask to combine the check. It's always split by default, and that was everywhere.
I mean, they
way to
ask
be.
each individual what they want.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it costs them more each time they have to swipe a credit card.
That's
it's
what it
another
is.
fee that they have to pay.
But the waitress doesn't care about that. She just cares about the extra time that it takes, an extra few minutes.
Yeah, I could
Yeah,
pay
or
the
maybe
system,
she's
like-
been told like you shouldn't split checks.
That was the thing we were going to do on the air at one point. We were going to report places that have credit card minimums.
We did report a couple places.
Yes.
We did. A Portuguese bakery and the 7-Eleven.
And that you got like apology letters from them.
And the sign came down for the $10 minimum. We called
Yep.
Visa one day in our apartment.
yeah, you can do that.
I have a coffee.
Talk about asshole things to do over here.
How's
Hey,
that not something to do?
I have a coffee place I want to do this too soon. Mirasol's in Dartmouth is getting a call.
When you take the credit card machine,
Yep.
you make the agreement.
Yes,
that
you do.
It should be treated like cash.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you want to go in for a small item and they're making you buy $10 worth of crap.
They're also never polite about it.
No.
They're, hey, really
points to the
sorry.
sign.
They're just like, and then you end up buying some other,
Things that you don't
an
need.
extra Reese's sticks.
Yeah, and you eat those anyway, and you enjoy them, but you're not that pleased about it.
No.
Snake oil salesman. That's what they are.
Well, should I finish the gas station thing?
Maybe, yeah, I think you should.
Guess who?
Just that, at some point it was like, oh, there's these self-service pumps. Dad's gonna start self-service pumping.
Yeah.
My mom never did, and I think to this day my mom does only full-service pumps.
There's not that many left.
I think she seeks. I think Westport Gas.
Yep.
Near
do?
your place. Oh, he's got ideas.
No.
Where's Westport Gas?
Well,
You mean
is it-
Joel, the old Joel's
Sorry,
garage?
the one,
Route 6 gas.
no. Well, yes, they do it too.
Yeah,
but
Sammy's,
The one
yeah.
the one I'm thinking of is the one by Lee's, actually, like on Main Road, like before the dentist's office. Before
Between Lee's and like Bittersweet over on
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no idea what place.
It's like a four
Village
pump
garage?
Four pump
Yeah, yeah,
station.
That's
Long
pretty
gone.
gone.
Hasn't
Really?
had gas in about
Oh
10
gosh,
years.
yeah.
Turn off the camera.
That place is gone.
I used to go there all the time.
you ever have a place you thought like for years was open? You're like, "It's long gone.
like, oh, Ann and Hope in Dartmouth?
There was one like that other than 2 seconds
There,
ago.
there was the one up by your parents' house that is that still open or is that closed? The one kind of near like the Moose.
The one across from Barcello's.
That one is still there and it's full serve.
Yeah.
That's one of my marked full serve locations.
I think it was when the one up the street from my house, when it was DB Mart.
Yeah.
When that first opened, it was like, this is self-service. We should use it. We should take advantage. And when I first started driving, Route 6 Cumbies was the one that like I always went to because they always had the cheapest price.
Yeah.
Which was like $1.40 at the time.
Yep.
About when we started driving.
It's not that much more now.
Oh, you're a weird, like, impulsive.
Frankie can't even get through the question.
The offense he takes.
My weird impulses. You act like I'm sucking toes.
No, we'd be at the morning table in high school. In would come Aaron, and he'd be like, I had a long night at the Cheesecake Factory last night.
I had a long night.
He's got a wicked migraine. He spent a lot of money last night.
5 o'clock shadow set in.
You did enjoy the fact that you could drive, you had money, and you were just like,
What was wrong with that?
No, it was fun. It was fun being your friend.
That was an impulse?
Everybody craves at that age independence.
Cheesecake?
or whatever they serve.
I prefer the lemon Zello cake.
Everybody craves independence at that age. You did more than any other friend I had. You were like we're gonna get our own car. We're gonna get our own place. We're all gonna ride together.
I did.
You wanted your own money.
My first year of having a license, I put about 100,000 miles on my car.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
A lot of miles.
That's 10 times what I.
Yeah, I put about 10,000 a year now on my car.
But your parents weren't especially restrictive, and they weren't down your throat all the time.
No, not at all. They're much more like friends.
So you would expect I don't know, like a Mormon kid to be like, I gotta get out of this house. That wasn't you.
Yeah, I'm sure out of all my friends, I had the most lenient parents.
So why did you want that?
I don't know. There's something great about having freedom.
Tell me how much cheesecake. We went to the Cheesecake Factory a few months ago, right when the baby was born. And because my mom had given me a $50 gift card for my birthday or something, we were like, oh, we got to use this. And I remember having, I know everybody talks about the giant menu and shit. I had a really hard time with that menu. I was like, what am I going to order?
The menu's
I've been there
ridiculous.
once.
It's silly.
And the menu was daunting.
Everything is phenomenal.
I love
it.
I ended up having orange chicken, and it was not phenomenal.
Well, I don't think I'd get the Chinese food piece.
I didn't know what to get.
I think it's
was
away
like
from
1,000
the Chinese
pages.
food.
And you got tired at some point. And you were like, "Oh, this."
I started Googling it. What do people get?
Pasta, the fish, the steak. It's all
definitely-
great.
that's
But
definitely the
I've
thing.
always stayed away from the Chinese food section.
Having too
It's all
many choices.
Plentiful and mediocre. That's what that place is. And then by the time
bologna. Where do you
I've had
go
some
that's
good things.
plentiful and fantastic?
plentiful and fantastic.
Yeah, Frankie, lay it on us.
Big portions, and it's really, really good.
Yeah.
The only one that I got at
Yeah.
Texas Roadhouse. I like Texas Roadhouse for that.
Stinky old bear.
You nasty old bear.
I don't know.
You dirty old bear.
You white
don't like
suit.
I don't like Texas Roadhouse. I've been there maybe 3 times.
Texas Roadhouse, that's what you're going to throw out there
I love
for?
it.
Better than Cheesecake
love it.
Factory?
I can't.
Baloney.
Bologna.
Well, I would probably like
Well,
Cheesecake
no.
Factory more if we had one that was convenient and not in Providence.
Agreed.
I mean, when you asked me when you asked me for an answer to that, I was like, well, what restaurants do I even like? Because the answer is I'm not thrilled about any restaurant.
No, there's none that I love anymore.
yeah.
Like none.
Well, was there at one time? What can you think? What's the best restaurant experience you've ever had in your life?
Ooh.
Not the melting pot.
There's a story there, isn't there? I don't know.
God
that I've
damn,
heard
I
it.
fucking hate that place.
Very best restaurant experience I've ever had.
While you're thinking,
Okay.
can someone tell us the melting pot story?
It's just a horrible experience. It's
What do they serve there? I don't know anything about it.
It's all fondue
Old
shit.
fondue.
And it's like
Old
it's,
fondue.
it's a 4-hour meal.
The experts of
You
old
have to
fondue.
budget 4 hours of time to get to do your meal.
Why would they want to do things?
Because
that
it
way?
comes out in such there's
Don't they wanna
20
get people in and out?
courses, and it's like you order in advance, and it's like, oh, this is how much per person.
Whimsical.
I hate
And it's
that
like,
shit. You know
okay,
that.
here's some stuff. We'll be back in an hour, which will be about 40 minutes after you've finished all this round.
Meanwhile, you can just give me some hot cheese and chips, and I'm happy.
Yeah,
I don't need a little fountain of crap.
just
cheese and chips.
it's a ridiculous. I don't understand why. I can understand, the time
paced
between
so
courses,
slow.
but it is ridiculously paced.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's expensive, I assume.
yeah.
It's just fondue, but it takes 4 hours.
Yeah, it's like, well, here's your appetizer
like
course.
54
and then
a
we'll be
person.
back in an hour, and here's your main course, okay? And then we'll be back in an hour, and here's
I
your
guess,
dessert
cheese.
course.
It's to really
There's
they do all kinds of things. They give you wine to cook in. They give you oil to cook in.
Oh, you're doing table stuff.
Yeah, you
Oh,
have,
so it's
we
like
have-
shabu shabu in that way.
yeah, exactly. But it's much slower, and it's. I mean, I guess it's designed to be a real experience, but it's not that.
Did you know that? Do you remember that shabu shabu place? The Chinese restaurant used in the new Ghostbusters film.
Shabu shabu?
That's the one.
Is it?
Yep. So, for those curious, in college there was a shabu shabu place down the street from us. My pretentious friends made me go. I made a big bitchy fit about it, like you guys. We're starting to learn we're all like that.
Yeah.
Not just John.
Not just me.
And because it was expensive, time consuming, not very good, mostly vegetables. And
All kinds of reasons.
and I was like, this place sucks. You're supposed to you stick vegetables in hot water at the table.
Yeah, that's what this place is. Too.
And I was like, this is horrible.
I'm a big fan of Vietnamese noodle soup. Pho.
And then there's
Pho,
this
yeah.
language barrier where they don't know how you want to
It's
split
pho,
the
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was pho for a long time.
Yeah,
and
but it's
it
pho.
became
I
this.
felt like a a damn pho.
Damn pho.
Until a Vietnamese person corrected me.
There is a pho place nearby that Shabba Shabba place. But anyway, we ended up shooting a scene from Abo the Hugh Monkey there, making fun of it with me voicing all of my concerns, just taking us out of the narrative to bitch about a restaurant. And I put the words into a small child where she says, well, wouldn't you just cook at home? But the new Ghostbusters sort of firehouse, their new base of operations, is in that exact location. They were shooting there. I would walk by there every day. That piece of shit movie.
Still haven't seen it.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty
There's no
bad.
reason to.
Yeah, don't
Unless
see it.
you really want to.
They improvise the whole time.
Good for them.
They go, They improvise the whole time. Best food experience, and we'll go out on that.
It's a restaurant in Montreal called Valier.
You've talked about it on Box Mac.
Gallium.
Valier.
Valier.
And it is probably the single best dining experience I ever had.
Explain.
So the food was superb. The location was small and intimate. I mean, I was with coworkers, so it wasn't a particularly, I like my coworkers, but it wasn't a super, the food was just perfectly on point. It was perfectly the theme. It was delicious. It was reasonably priced. The service was really good. That is probably my single best dining experience was up there. So if you happen to be in Montreal, try out Valier.
You got one?
Don't know. Don't ask me for.
Because you don't even know.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
Food sucks most of the time.
Yeah.
Just
I
eat
like
at home.
going out to eat. I do. We'll
I
probably
do
do
like
it
going
after
out. We're gonna do it right after this.
Like, I mean-
where are we gonna go? Let's discuss it.
Well, that's a good. I haven't been to Joe's in a while. We could have.
We could go to Joe's.
I refuse to be part of that Husk massacre.
Can we not have any husk, please?
Do you have what best food experience?
I mean, hands down, if you're really looking to spend money, a high-end steakhouse like Ruth Chris's in Boston, or
pretty
there's
good.
one in Providence.
The Capitol Grill, even for a vegan, if you go and you're like, hey, I don't eat steak and I don't eat any of this shit you got here, they like made me like from scratch like this veggie dish, and then they brought me like a thing of like berries and like the
Was it
winter.
really good?
It was really good.
There's a whole difference in quality.
But it is one of those very like expensive steakhouses where they like brush off your tablecloth in between.
Yeah.
Dry-aged meat, things like aged for
I mean, I've had some of that stuff, and it doesn't.
a month, 2 months. There's a huge. There's nothing like it in terms of like buying a steak or going to like an Outback or something.
I can't think of something even close.
That horrible Vegas one was actually shitty. That steakhouse.
Oh, okay. Well, the Vegas helps me. It's no longer there. I found out when I went to Vegas, but there was a like a bistro called Payard in Caesar's Palace, and I got a lobster eggs Benedict there, and it was one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life. That was damn good. But even like you should be able to ask me like what's the best mac and cheese you've had out because you host a show about mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
I don't know. Nothing.
I mean, you really like that one in Fall River, don't you?
One in Fall River.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That would be
Tap
that
House?
would be up there.
It's called, yeah.
Nina calls it's called the Tap House. Nina calls it the Knockout Box. It's a family name. What are y'all doing? You got 2018 plans? What are you doing in the new year?
Nothing.
You okay? What's going on? Everything all right?
2018.
Yeah, it's upsetting. The concept of a new year.
Yeah. I mean, you
I hate even numbered years.
you get done with 1 year, there's another year coming. Yeah. Whatever.
I do this this kind of like
The years start coming, but they don't stop.
That's right.
I do this vain thing where I try to collect the accomplishments I did for the previous year, and it was interesting this year doing it because it was just so very similar to like I went back to 2014
Yeah.
and I'm like it's most of the same concepts and themes. Like even though I am making life progress,
Did that disappoint you in some way?
yeah, like in a sort of ethereal way where I was kind of like, oh geez, like because you feel like you're going forward,
Yeah.
and then you realize that you're sort of in like an upward circle of repetition and occasional progress.
Yeah.
Type of helix.
yeah.
I
you're
think
doing-
that's true with everyone. Your circle just happens to have more in it
Yeah.
than most people's.
That could be.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's like years ago there was a house. This year there was a baby.
Yep.
There's definitely progress.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on a cul-de-sac.
But there's probably not going to be any more houses or babies. you
Right. The studio.
know. Yeah.
Second family.
Yeah, I guess at some point. Just to keep things moving. You don't want to get stale.
No. Got to keep it interesting.
That basically implies that all men can keep going up, and then like women just like
They stay wherever they were left.
That explains a lot. Why did I get so pissed around 40? Like, I hate all these second families. All right, well, hopefully the next time we do one of these, we'll actually have like a cool little place to do it.
I hope so.
A table. A table. Really, Aaron just wants a goddamn.
I do. I need a table.
I do think buying one of those plastic ones that's adjustable height would be just fine.
Sure.
Yeah, we used to use like a banquet table in the Emerson building, right?
Yeah.
With the tablecloth on.
The idea would
a big
be-
long black tablecloth.
The idea would be that we would have it permanently stationed, so we could just sit down and just start.
There is something to looking at each other too.
Yeah,
Being around the table.
for shiz.
Yeah.
For chisel.
Yeah.
Although that's a little harder to photograph.
You need multi-camera.
I think
You need that
L-
360
U-shape.
360 cam. So
That was kind of. I saw somebody did a podcast where they put a
We could do
360 cam in
a
the center.
crescent-shaped table.
Crescent?
an L-shaped table.
They put
like
one,
that time at OCB.
they put one of those 360 cams in the center of the table, and then the viewer can decide who they want to look at.
It's kind of
Good idea.
cool.
Kind of
So-
neat.
Seems like a little too much work for your average viewer.
Can it track who gets the most FaceTime?
Didn't we
They're
film
the
an
hot-
episode of Box Mac in 360 and I never saw the footage of it
Yeah,
anymore?
come on, EJ, you're listening to this. Whatever happened to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think permanently stationed is good because I don't like when we first arrive to record a podcast, we all start talking and laughing about things, and I'm like, oh, this would be
This would be
a good
great.
topic.
Yeah.
If you're able to just plop right down.
Well, that's the idea. We'll be able
Mic's
to
on.
come in, sit down, and go. Like press a button and you're going.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
That's the benefit of a studio.
Righto.
How are we? And goodbye.
Goodbye.
I appreciate you taking me here, but what am I supposed to do?
Well, it's a Japanese restaurant. It's a real treat. Put it in the hot water. Be careful. It's hot. Now the tomato will take 15 seconds. Look at the texture now. Raring to go.
I thought the point of a restaurant was they cooked the food for you.
Well, it was class, dear.